Well, for women, if you are sexually active and not using birth control, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention just came out and recommended there is one thing you should not be doing.
To explain it to us, we've asked our pregnancy expert, Judith Schuler, in. Hello. So this is kind of a broad recommendation, I think, from the CDC.
It really is.
So what are they asking women not to do?
They're saying don't drink if you are sexually active and you are not using birth control. And we strongly agree, because pregnancy can happen. And if you're not using birth control, it's a real possibility.
So we're not talking about if you're trying to conceive. We're talking about even if you're not trying to conceive.
We're talking
you are
about
not using birth control. Is there an age range in there, Judy?
I would say just anybody who is sexually active, who is probably between, whenever age you start becoming sexually active, all the way up to 50.
Okay.
Because people are getting pregnant longer. So if you're, the key is sexually active and not using birth control. That's what we recommend. And the thing is, with 50% of all pregnancies unplanned, that's 2 million births a year. It's very important to think about this. A statistic when we were doing our revision recently came up, and it said that by the time a woman misses her first period, 80% of all organ development has occurred in the baby.
Really?
That's 2 to 3 weeks. And many times, if you're not thinking about pregnancy, it could be 5 to 8 weeks. And this is a critical period of development for a baby. And that's why we want women to be at least aware that their drinking can affect, if they do get pregnant, a baby that they conceive.
And are we talking about all drinking, or what about like a glass of wine, or with dinner or something like that? How stringent are we really recommending here?
The American Congress of Obstetricians and Gynecologists says absolutely no alcohol during pregnancy. And here's the reason. We don't know how much alcohol it takes to affect an individual fetus. Some fetuses have been exposed to alcohol throughout their entire pregnancy. The mother's drinking and she doesn't stop, and they're fine. At least, we know that they're fine when they're born. Other women have just a few drinks here and there during pregnancy, and their babies are greatly affected. So is it worth having that glass of beer or wine or that shot or that mixed drink if it could mean lifelong problems for your baby?
Right. Well, Judy, I love when you're on because you're so specific. You answer the questions that we all have, but also you clear up myths for us. And this is one, I don't know if you've heard this, Tina, but I've heard people say before, oh, well, yeah, I was drinking at the beginning of my pregnancy before I found out, but that was in the time that it didn't matter.
Oh.
There's like a period of time that it doesn't affect the fetus. So you're here to tell us that's not true.
That is the most critical time, the first trimester, the first 13 weeks. All your baby's organs are being developed. If you can imagine, you miss a period, it's 3 weeks maybe. Conception to when you miss a period is 2 to 3 weeks. 80% of your baby's organs have already been developed. So, if you can think of it this way, live your life, if you're sexually active and not using birth control, as if every day is the day that your baby could be conceived. You could get pregnant, and you'll go a long way to giving baby a good start in life.
And we're talking about this in a very serious manner, because I know some people right now, Judy, they're listening to us and they're like making the joke of, if none of us drank, a lot of us wouldn't have had, we wouldn't have these kids. And it's the joke that people are probably going to say right now, but there is a very serious side to that.
There is.
And it is such that the CDC was enough to come out with, like I said, it's a very broad recommendation, because it's covering such a vast time frame in a woman's life.
It is. And it's just an idea that the woman is responsible for everything she eats or drinks or is exposed to. And that's going to affect an innocent child, a baby. And, you're going to be living with those lifelong problems, too, if those drinks actually do cause some, your baby to have birth defects or other problems.
And you've told us before on the show that sometimes you can't tell that something has affected your child till later in life. Maybe they have ADHD or they have other problems that are later.
Behavior problems or learning problems.
Started from back when you were pregnant.
Right, that might not even show up until they're 6, 7, 8 years old.
Right.
And so it's a very serious thing, and we want women to take pregnancy seriously. And if you're not using birth control and you are sexually active, then you must realize that pregnancy is a real possibility.
So instead of picking up that glass of wine, let's pick up one of your books, Judy.
No, I hope so.
Well,
and
thank
drink
you.
some ginger ale.
Ginger ale, and it's tasty too. So thank you so much for coming on and really clearing that up for us. We really appreciate that.
Thanks.
And to learn more about your pregnancy, make sure to check out Judith's series of books. Just hop on your computer and visit yourpregnancybook.com.